All right. Bant Bow. Bant Bow. So, this is another deck with the food package here. We've got Goose, Oko, Wicked Wolf. And then because we had Wicked Wolf and we have Bow to let us play at instant speed a little bit anyways, I've got 4 Nightpack Ambusher in here, along with some Tolsimir at the top end. So we've got a variety of removal spells or pseudo-removal here for just being a Bant deck, which is sweet. We've got 4 Questing Beasts because he's the quarterback that's hitting the ball into the out zone to score a touchdown. So let's dive on into an event and play some Magic with this one. Yeah, the goal for the Invisalign is I'm supposed to wear it 20 to 22 hours a day. So it's only supposed to be out while I'm eating. Innisled, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, so Slow Future, the way Invisalign works, they're an alternative to braces. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. Once upon a time, hopefully a Goose or a Paradise Druid. Every two weeks, the trays get adjusted. So we'll see how they work. If they end up working well, I might reach out to them for sponsorship opportunities. Hashtag always shilling. Dental's not cheap though. We have like some amount of dental insurance through Christie's work, but that only covered 1,500 of the $5,000 that these things cost. I mean, braces tend to cost a similar amount of money. Yeah, I'm gonna draw a card in a turn here. Everything's expensive in the US. Yeah. Yeah, if you're from another country, consider the fact that the insurance that I have privately is considered very good health insurance in the United States. Huh? Am I in for Tolsimir? I could just QB and block their QB, but they probably have a removal spell. I think I want Tolsimir to recover some life. Yeah, it's something that I've meant to do for a while, because getting your teeth straightened actually makes your gums and stuff more healthy. It's just like, you know, putting aside $4,000 to do something like that is not trivial. Well, that's really unfortunate. I'm gonna block here, because if I don't block, they're just gonna make a sacrifice, so I might as well save myself a point of damage. We're 10 out of 10 just playing Tolsimir this turn and eating Rankle, right? It did come up. My stance on I want to make sure my stance on the Blizzard Hong Kong topic is crystal clear. Blizzard is awful for doing what they did. And if you support Blizzard by giving them money or playing their games after this, you're sending them the message that what they did, you're okay with. Blizzard made the decision that they made because they're assuming that they stand to make more money by making that decision than by not making that decision. This is a purely capitalist decision on their part. You vote with your time and wallet. The winner of one of the recent Blizzard Grandmasters tournament gave a pro-Hong Kong statement on one of Blizzard's streams. And Blizzard stripped that player of their prize money and banned them from Hearthstone organized play for the next year. They fired the casters too. Yeah. Also fired the casters, yep. So, I think in response to this, I'm going to use this as a Doomblade. Just like gain 3, kill your questing beast. Political views and who/what pays your bills, keep them separate, it's a dangerous game. Or, if you can afford to, and I understand that I'm in a fortunate position, I can afford to do this. Just, you know, don't work for people that are awful. And I understand that not everybody comes from that privilege that I have to say that. I think I'm just gonna do this now and swing for 7 to try and find another Tolsimir to eat this innkeeper. Oh, Wicked Wolf also eats it too. Yeah, I definitely want to do this now. Killing our Arkbow is pretty good. Mr. Oni, thank you for the 4 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. Am I going to update that Golos Fire deck? Was watching Gottlieb. Pretty much everything I play on this channel, if you're not familiar, if you're newer to the channel, are viewer-submitted deck lists. So the only deck that I'm personally working on right now is the Temur Oko deck. Everything else that I play is pretty much viewer submissions. So if you're interested in seeing something on stream, feel free to submit it to be played. If you're not a deck builder yourself, you're also welcome to submit ideas, and then I'll work on the idea myself. If I already bought Overwatch, would it be wrong to play it? Yeah, I'm going to be done playing Overwatch. By playing their games, even if you're not actually giving them money, you're giving them your time, and your time is money. So in fact, just to make my position crystal clear, yes, I am sure I want to delete everything under Games Overwatch. Thanks, Lutris. I appreciate you. That's the only Blizzard game I play with some regularity. Speaking of quality software, I think my opponent's client might have crashed. Can a mod who understands what's going on after I just explained that create a command? So I like informing people, and I don't want to repeat myself constantly all day. You should submit it using the form on the website, Extreme Cream. So the form is how you formally check with me. You select build around in there, and then you list your idea. Looks like someone crashed out and couldn't get back in. Yay, magic. Activision and Blizzard are the same company? Well, that's disappointing. What's going on in Hong Kong? The issues in Hong Kong are arguably more terrifying than what's going on here in the United States, which really says something. So from my understanding, I would encourage you to just look it up. I don't want to repeat information and then be incorrect on what I'm repeating. I think I'm in for Gilded Goose here, right? It enables a questing beast next turn, or a Tolsimir ahead of curve, potentially. Is there a consistent control deck that is competitive? Traditional control is unplayable in this standard format. Probably the flash deck. Yeah, looks like the flash deck. No command for it yet, V-Ball. Yeah, Li Shitian's been tweeting a lot. Have a good one, Sufa. This deck's probably pretty bad in this matchup. I don't think I have any Veils in my sideboard either. If we can get Bow down, obviously we're a huge favorite, but if we can't get Bow down, or if we get it down and then they send it back, it's going to be pretty medium for us. Traditional control decks just don't have the tools in the standard format to... The problem with traditional control in standard right now is that you can't beat the field decks by going long against them. The only way to beat the field decks is to go under them. I think I'm just jamming Questing Beast here to make them play an answer, as opposed to... Just for the record, one thing I'd like to make crystal clear, because someone just brought up their specific results, is... when I say a deck's not going to likely be competitive, that doesn't mean you can't win games with it. Magic the Gathering is a game with an incredible amount of variance, and bad players win games with bad decks, and good players definitely win games with bad decks all the time. That's basically what this whole stream is about, is trying to win games with a lot of bad decks. What I'm talking about is I would not be surprised if at the top competitive levels you don't see control decks at all happening in this format because they can't keep up with Field of the Dead. Feel like we're pretty dead here. Yeah, the people... Oh, I have a couple of Time Ravelers. I have a couple of Ceratops. I did think about this matchup a little bit while we were building, apparently. So that's nice. Good job. Good job, Past Jeff. I wonder if I want some copies of Frilled Mystic just so I can play at instant speed alongside them a little bit. That doesn't seem unreasonable. What do I want to cut, though? Wicked Wolf. My stuff fighting their stuff seems important in this matchup. Deputy of Detention seems a little bit medium. I guess, is it? They can't remove it, really. Hey, main sale. Sorry for the bad beats. Glad you're enjoying some other things, though. Deputy Detention takes anything. I probably want to just drag my curve down. As good as these types of effects are. Try this. I think we're basically going to be trying to play like a pseudo flash mirror. I feel like people that are saying Frilled Mystic's not good enough are undervaluing the fact that a body is worth something here. It's possible I want Disdainful Stroke in addition to Frilled Mystic because some of their better cards do cost 4+. But I think saying we don't want... Huh? So, this is the part where we stop casting spells. Just like land pass. Is this what garbage time feels like? So, they did this during my main phase so I get a chance to play spells here. So, a little bit of a mistake on my part. I probably should have... waited to play my land, because then I could have shocked it in. But, like, if they don't interact with my thing, then nothing happens, so... It's kind of tough there. And, like, now they can't really cast anything, because if they cast anything, it gives me a window to jam the Nightpack Ambusher again. How do you feel they should have handled that differently in the sense of protecting the company's image? I don't know. Not take the prize money away from a player and ban them from their tournaments for being pro-democracy. That's what they did. They banned a player from their tournaments for being pro-democracy. This is an easy decision. It's not complicated. Yeah, late stage capitalism. If WotC did something similar, would you leave Magic? Yeah, I think if I had other options, I probably would. I also think I'm in a position that's enviable where Wizards probably won't do that. One, because the decisions at Wizards tend to lean socially liberal, because leaning socially liberal tends to be popular in the United States among companies, because liberals have a lot of spending money. A lot of people in the target demographic for the things Wizards is doing tend to be skew liberal. Wizards also isn't in the mobile game market, which is a majority of what's in China. So expecting Wizards to just be hands off and not do or say anything there is probably very realistic as well. I think I just jammed this. This could be wrong. Yeah. A possible middle ground would have been to issue a press release reminding streamers and players to not make political statements at Blizzard event. Yeah, they could also just made a very clear statement that they could make a very clear statement that like the players, and just a generic statement that the feelings of players that play in their events do not represent Blizzard in general. Like that's another possibility they could have done. There were a lot of options that were very good and Blizzard chose none of them. Thanks for the 2 months of Prime support there, Year's Revenge. All right, so Broco's down. Tolsimir might be able to pick this game up and carry it on his back. They're mostly out of gas. So Tolsimir's going to drop down here and eat a 2/2 and leave a bunch of bodies behind. And then like both of these get to eat things as well, potentially. At the end of the day, the greedy business chose profits over people. Wicked Wolf does double fight, which is hot. I'm aware, Slow Future. If you listen to what I actually said, I talked about that. I said the reason why the decisions Wizards make skew socially liberal is because their target demographic skews liberal. I'm very much aware that all of these companies that are putting forth these ideas are doing so because it's profitable for them. And honestly, in a way, we should probably be happy that it's profitable for companies to skew towards being kind to people, right? That's something we should be happy about. All right, that's a brick we needed. So we're gonna be dead to. So I'm gonna play this. So this is gonna fight this. And it's gonna fight this. And we're gonna make it indestructible. So if they have a bounce spell for this, we are dead. And they kept a card on top, so we might be in trouble here. Overlooked, thank you for the 2 months of support there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, good games, opponent. Decks like the Flash deck tend to be good against decks like ours that tend to be playing more expensive spells. Yeah, the Flash deck. I'm glad the Flash deck's not very good. It's actually really funny. We haven't played against the Flash deck in a couple of days, and then we like jump into constructed events and like immediately Flash decks. Breeze and Borrower would have also taken their thing out of the way there. Yeah, I mean, the person that got banned decided that standing up for what they felt was right was more important than the money that they stand to gain from that tournament. Because they almost certainly knew that that was a risk, right? If you want to play a deck that's good against the Flash decks, I would heavily recommend playing a deck with 1 mana spells in it. Yeah, 2x double bow is pretty good here. Getting this into play feels good, man. Yeah, and that's sadly what happens a lot of the time, right? Like there's just so much that's the Trump administration in a nutshell. There's just so much volume of outrage that like people move on to the next outrage and forget about it, right? Brazen Borrower and Esper. Interesting. I wonder if they're playing a more proactive deck and not a control deck. More proactive would make sense. Did straight up controlling decks tend to not be particularly good in this current format. You have a hard time with the Golos decks. Yeah, and that's why the tweet about Turkey happened. Yeah, I'm not going to be playing Overwatch anymore, Mitsu. In fact, on stream we deleted it from my computer this morning. Breaking news, Activision cares more about your money than your beliefs. Yep. Yeah, hopefully it makes its way through Congress. I don't think it's unfair to say the public has largely moved on, though. I guess maybe I should have done this at sorcery speed last turn because of the questing beast possibility. Spin to win. So we definitely just spin this for 7, right? And try and hit a questing beast. We missed, but we have an indestructible threat, so that's nice. Consolation prize. Wicked Wolf with a bunch of food in play. Sign me up. Hungry, hungry Wolfie. My opponent's username is Turn 3 Tron. So really, they deserve whatever we do to them. Whatever we end up doing to them, they thoroughly deserve it. Definitely want my Frilled Mystics. Shit, I probably want Wicked Wolf because it's resistant to removal. That's probably the line. Let's do that. Mono 4 drops. 4 drops the deck. Tron's great though. Listen, you're entitled to your opinions however wrong they may be. I had someone comment on one of my recent videos asking me if I would put the win-loss records of my decks in the video title. And I responded to them on their comment, but I think it's important to like spread this message too. The reason why I don't do things like that is because the win-loss record of a deck that I play on a given stream is completely meaningless to telling you whether or not the deck is good or bad. The statistical sample size that you need to achieve to make a win-loss record be meaningful is very, very large. It's much larger than I'm able to put in a single hour and a half video. Yeah, not only is that, but it's spoilers too. But just like not only is it spoilers, but from a is it meaningful perspective, it doesn't tell us anything. Like I've gone 5-0 with decks and my conclusion's been this deck sucks. And I've like gone 1-3 with the deck and been like, there's something here, this deck was really sweet, I want to play more of it. So it's not even just 30, because there's so much variation in every game of Magic that it's much more than that. How many matches do we play on average with each deck? It's probably somewhere in the range of like 4 is probably the average, like 3.5 maybe. I play a minimum of 2. Yes, it is a lazy metric to falsely determine is this deck good. Completely agree with that. What is your quest? I seek the face and the Teferi. This is why Questing Beast is great, chat. He can seek the face and also seek the Teferi simultaneously.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
How do you go about rigorously testing a deck that you're inclined to use in the MCQ? Rigorously testing a Magic deck takes an incredible amount of effort, and I don't care enough about the MCQ to do it. Magic also has an incredible amount of variance, so even if I was interested in doing rigorous testing, like, the amount of time you put in does not guarantee a good result. If I wanted to do formal rigorous testing, the way in which I would approach it is to play a given matchup dozens of times over and over again, both pre-board and post-board with different configurations, and figure it out, and then move on to the next matchup that I expect to play against and repeat. Dozens of games would need to be played for every matchup.
There are so many mysteries to uncover. I have just the trick for this.
My first research advisor told us she wouldn't consider results statistically meaningful if there were less than 1,000 trials for a single experiment. Yeah, and you could argue that different deck configurations are different experiments. There's a lot of variables that change in them. No, playing random games of Magic with people on the ladder is the farthest thing from rigorous testing. Maybe I wanted to redraw that there. That could go either way.
I invite you to change.
In my experience, a lot of people like to make pretty baseless claims on what's good or bad on very little evidence, because I think a lot of people feel it gives them credibility, when in my opinion it does the opposite. I think the culture that we live in makes it feel like if you say you don't know something, you're kind of a failure or you're stupid, when the inverse is really true, right? Like, incredibly stupid people are the ones trying to claim they know everything and make stuff up. But you know, when we have a president with a bigly brain nobody has more wisdom than him, everybody else strives to be like that, right? Just nothing but the best brains in the United States White House. Thanks for the 20 months, Stinky Dorko. My opponent has Unmoored Ego win against us post-board. It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Fairness. What a bizarre expectation.
Fairness? What a bizarre expectation. His most recent turkey tweet, I had to double check. And I don't know why it still surprised me at this point, but I definitely had to go and verify from the source that tweet was real. Because I was just like, there's no way this is something he's actually, dumb enough to tweet, right? Like, it was just so absurd that I was just like, no, this, my all disbelief hasn't been suspended yet for me, I guess. Apparently the answer was, he is in fact just that ridiculous. I'm going to play in a qualifier this weekend. I'm taking Rakdos Knights. I think Rakdos Knights is very reasonable. I think it's a little bit less powerful than some of the other things you can be doing in this format. But I also think it's perfectly fine. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and counter this. They have Kaya's Wrath. It's almost like an elderly C-list reality TV star huckster isn't a reasonable president, right? Strange, weird. Did my sub go through? Moikar, it did pop. You're definitely still sub because you're here in chat. Sometimes when you sub on desktop, you have to refresh your browser page and send the notification through. It's real annoying. Nah, they should really have fixed that by now. It's kind of embarrassing that issues existed for so long. Yeah, billionaire. Yeah, honestly, Owl, I don't blame you. Playing a deck so your matches just don't take forever is very reasonable. Deputy Detention's pretty good against Pelk Collector, because even if they kill the Deputy afterwards, Pelk Collector still shrinks. I think anyone taking for granted that Trump can't re-win election is kidding themselves. Never underestimate the power of hateful people. To give credit where credit is due, Trump is very good at riling up his hateful mob to get out and vote. Hey, thanks for the biddies the wake. I appreciate that. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. Yeah, I agree, Black Sheep. That's also why I think it's really important that the Democrats nominate someone who's a little bit more liberal, because a more liberal candidate, aka not Joe Biden, please not Joe Biden, will encourage people to get out and actually vote. That should be the goal. That was you know, I might not have shot the sheriff, but we definitely shot the Paradise Druid. Fourth land. How do we feel about that one? Feels pretty good. I think we're gonna try and ambush this here with the Nightpack. How likable and engaging there. So here's a really important thing to understand about likability in elections. Likability and electability are racist terms, because what people actually mean when they talk about likability and electability is white and male. That's a dog whistle for white and male. If Trump can get elected, electability is nonsense and doesn't exist except in that instance. Whether or not you intended it to mean that, Duran, that's the way in which it is used. Man, are we crushing my bird? Maybe I should have just deputied this last turn. I probably should have done that. Oh, the wolf was a 4/4. No, I should have done that. I'm not used to playing these cards together. I completely forgot that it was gonna be a 4/4. That's on me. Should have deputied or wolf there. 10 out of 10. That would have been, we'd be super far ahead. We're currently ahead, but we'd be super far ahead if I had made the correct play. Yeah, the reason Trump won in 2012 is because people just didn't show up to vote. All right, one of your finest Tolsimirs, please. He won the Electoral College. He didn't win the popular vote, but he won the Electoral College. And he won the Electoral College because people didn't show up. 2016, whatever year he won. Whatever year he won. Stop it, chat. Stop pushing your glasses up and saying, actually, you know what I meant. You got me. I said the wrong year while I'm playing Magic and reading chat and doing two other things. Actually. You got me. So... do I want these? I probably want these. At the very least, I want Prison Realm. Is Questing Beast actually the trim here? I feel like I want to pull my curve down a little bit. And while this card trades okay in combat, it doesn't attack through, and I want to be on the defense in this matchup more than the offense, I think. This deck is mostly cards from last season. Well, yeah, that's what happens, though, Kid Martian, when you have one of the parties pushing wildly unpopular ideas and they can only win by not winning the majority. So here's, as I'm only 28. I have not been following politics for all of my life. So maybe you can show me that I'm wrong. When Obama was running for president, did they describe him as electable? Is that a descriptor that was used to describe him? Because the fact that he won the election doesn't mean that people described him as electable. This is a match where Bow is too slow. That's a reasonable observation. Cutting Bow could be decent here. I don't hate that. If we go to game 3, that might happen. Thanks for the third of a year, set of hots. I appreciate it. This is an excellent draw because it lets me play this tapped this turn and then have untapped land here. They said he was electable after he won an election. Yep, that sounds right. I'd believe that. I think I'm just gonna Prison Realm this. Like, exiles it and doesn't deal damage to me. Lets me scry. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that the media showed to favor him after he already won something. Shrieking Elves, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Hope you're having an excellent Tuesday wherever you're at. Yeah, these, so it feels like to me that the current standard is kind of shaping up into a bit of a triangle that seems okay. And I'm pretty okay with this triangle. It feels to me like the Gruul decks are good against the Golos decks, and these food decks, the Goose, Oko, Wicked Wolf decks, seem to be favored against these Gruul decks. Do I have any favorites yet? I have the Fire, thanks for the 11 months. Yeah, in general, I like any of the progressive candidates in the field. But because I believe in transparency, I've also, I've given money to 3 of the people running in the Democratic primary. I've given money to Yang, Elizabeth Warren, and Pete Buttigieg. Are the three people that I've cared enough after reading about them to give them dollars.
Wild and sovereign. I think a little merriment is in order.
You keep putting your money where your mouth. I know, I'm the worst. All right, so they have this giant worm here, which kind of sucks for us. What if I deputy the pelt collector and make my food a 3/3? How do we feel about that? All right. We found the line. Came out of the tank with the perfect play. Obviously. They might concur on my conclusion that these food decks seem to be good against the girl decks. Oh, it's been a while since I've gotten hate messages from Trump supporters while ranting about politics. They're too poor to be able to afford to give me $5 to tell me that I'm wrong, though. Listen, you didn't even put your money where your mouth is. Tell me how much you love Trump. You don't even love him enough to give me $5 to tell the world how much you love Trump. Clearly you don't love him enough. I'm gonna tell Pence, and he's gonna tell Mother, and Mother's gonna be very disappointed in you. Candice, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Yikes, that one's gotta go. I hate Trump, but disagree with your politics. Have a ban. Thanks for the $5. I haven't seen Electromancer. Phoenix decks in general. The Phoenix decks have mostly been playing green. So straight blue-red Phoenix is interesting. You're completely wrong about politics, so I'm not... See, like, so the problem here, Jormundo, it isn't even that you're telling me I'm completely wrong, because I'm wrong all the time, just ask my wife. The problem is that when you make statements like, you're wrong, and don't give any reasoning for it, you're not engaging, you're just being an asshole. So, like, people who are just looking to be rude aren't welcome in my channels. If you want to engage in a good faith discussion and explain to me why you feel something I've said is off base, that's always welcome. But just coming in and telling me I'm wrong, whether it's regard to life, politics, magic, none of that's ever welcome here. And I understand that in a lot of other Twitch chats, that's just the norm. but that's not the norm here. It's not welcome. So if you're someone that wants to engage in a good faith conversation about explaining to me why we should let people have crippling medical debt because they were unlucky enough to get sick, or why we should straddle people with 6 figures worth of student loans because we talked them into that being a good decision when they were not informed enough to understand that it was a very bad decision, sure. Even possible to put a good faith argument here in support of Trump at this point? Probably not. Yeah, I agree, Rock. In general, like a good example is, you know, if you told me you agree people shouldn't have crippling medical debt, but you don't think anybody's put forward a good plan for solving that issue, that's something we can engage in, right? Like, you can have a topic about how to get to the right spot, but like, if you don't like, disagreeing on how to get to the right spot is one thing, but just saying that we shouldn't progress and improve life for people as a society, that's just like, you know, the screw you, I've got mine, you have to like get lucky to get yours too is just nonsense. Because people will exploit medical care. I would ask them to engage in how you expect people to exploit medical care. I would also present the discussion that just because a few bad people can ruin something doesn't mean you don't do it. One would fall. Thanks for the 4 months. Welcome back. Timor, thanks for the 3/4 of a year. Sorry, I missed my mute there. I was just about to say, what were we playing against? But we can go back and look, so that's nice. Questing Beast doesn't seem particularly good here. I want my exile spells. Deputy Detention actually seems pretty good here because there's no more Lightning Strike in this format. This might be okay just because it has reach. Maybe I want that more than Nightpack Ambusher. Let's give this a try. In the upper right-hand corner of the sideboarding screen there's a View Battlefield button. There's always going to be bad actors in everything. And if you allow bad actors to ruin everything, you never do anything decent or reasonable. I like Yang, but I feel like his campaign strategy is ideas so simple even Twitch chat can understand them. I mean, to be fair, Burgle, I think that's a strength. And I think Warren plays to that strength really well too. Like, Warren and Yang are both excellent at communicating. And I think that's one of the things that they do really well to present themselves. Yes, if you turn a deputy into an elk, they still get their thing back when the deputy dies. All I'm going to say is, if you're someone who finds the need to defend the current medical insurance practices that exist in the United States, you should just know that what you're defending is the ability for insurance companies to pay their CEOs millions of dollars every single year. If you're someone that wants to talk about efficiency and things being trim and trimming the fat, the government can trim the fat and cut that nonsense out of the process. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. And I honestly think part of the reason why me talking about politics on stream goes over so well most of the time is that half-ish of my viewer base is outside of the United States. So when I talk about things like being pro-Medicare for all and like people not going broke from medical costs, half my viewer base is just like, yeah, of course you should have that, Jeff. Because they live in countries where that just is the norm. I figured out the silver lining of the Trump presidency. It's let me know who to completely cut out of my life. You're not wrong, Beetle. You're not wrong.
One bite, and all your cares are gone.
Well, they don't even have red mana, so I might as well attack here. Trying to understand why cards like Inspiring Veteran and Bell of the Brawl aren't powerful enough to be top tier cards in Night Aggro. Well, Duran, one of the things about this format is I think something a lot of people don't understand is that this format's still really developing, so I wouldn't be surprised if optimal Night Aggro decks haven't been found yet, and there's still work to be done on those archetypes. As an Oregon, I support our Medicare. I'm on Oregon healthcare. I'm a diabetic. And I went from having private insurance to paying $500 plus a month from insulin supplies, where now I don't pay a dime and actually afford to live. That's great, Turkin. Yeah, it seems pretty good. We'll go turn 1 Goose, turn 2 Druid, turn 3 Oko, make food. I think peak Republican was Trump gave a speech recently at a place that was predominantly seniors in Florida. And he was talking to an audience of people who are almost certainly on Medicare and Social Security, assuring them that the United States would never be turned into socialists. Just like, peak, screw you, I've got mine. I am already benefiting from government programs. Thanks for the Bezobucks, Quintoxic Command. And to be fair, Quintoxic Command, I agree with you that one of my failings as an individual, and part of this is the brevity to which a lot of my statements have to be tied to, is that I am not always the best at delivering my messages in a caring and empathetic manner. In general, the things I feel and care about are messages of caring and empathy, but I definitely run a short fuse for idiots and bad faith arguments more often than I should. Into the Frozen Sky. Thanks for the tip. I appreciate that. Welcome. Whoop, where's my dashboard? This is for the Bant Golos Wish deck I submitted. I know it means we're the baddies, but at least it's not. That sounds good. And honestly, I like highlighting the good decks on occasion. I think highlighting the good decks on occasion is good. Sweet, so I get to Bow plus Flash Wolf here. Because none of my lands made blue mana, so I was gonna have to tap the Druid regardless. I find myself sounding like Red Foreman from time. That's an apt comparison, and I haven't heard that name in a long time. I'm just gonna play this now while my opponent's tapped out. My opponent looks to be playing a bit of a brew, so there's a chance they have counter spells in their deck. So I think I want to just stick this and stick this while they don't have, like, Sabotage or Ionize up. Oh, they're just playing fires. That makes sense. They're just playing fires.
I know my responsibility.
Dogler Dog, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Welcome to Hoaglandy. Hope you're having an excellent Tuesday wherever you are. All right, so think I just plus on this, honestly, I think I want to plus on the goose.
I invite you to change.
Ship these into here.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
Yeah, I agree, Quintoxic Command. Hey, Acer, welcome to Hoaglandia. Hey, appreciate the tier 1. The goose is fully set loose. I guess some of us do have money. You're not wrong.
Or can pierce my scales.
The Queen's Head's butler is you in 3 decades. I don't know if I want to look. Clary on my wayward son. The good news is, if that's their best play here, that's probably pretty good for us. It's like, hopefully we bow into a Fighty Wolf and get to, like, kill the circuit next turn. Would be ideal.
Your end has arrived.
Nah, I think I want my Oko to stay higher loyalty, but I can see that being wrong. Huh? Do I just play this? I think the upside... I think the upside of hitting a Fighty Wolf here is high. Spin to win, chat. Spin to win. Spin to win. All right, so... Hey, thanks for rolling out a sub gift, Android. I appreciate that. I could go double or nothing. You're not wrong. And then if I hit a fighty spell, because we can hit Tolsimir now too. Huh. Deputy's not bad. Because then Deputy upgrades to a 3/3. So do I want to... I think I just Deputy and take their dragon. And then we Oko this and hit here.
Your new look is enchanting.
So something that I've never talked about on stream before, because it really doesn't matter and it's nobody's business, is that I did have a speech impediment as a child. And if you're someone that comes into asking a question like that is a lot like coming into a streamer's chat and being like, "Are you sick today?" Because the implication of that question is, "Hey, you look sick, you look like shit, why do you look like shit?" So like coming in here and asking that question is a lot like saying, "Hey Jeff, you sound different and I want to needle you and point out that you're different." And like there's no upside to asking a question like that. It doesn't stand to be anything other than rude. So I assume they're going to pick this up and then sweep the board or do something crazy. If they have Casualty of Wars in their sideboard, that card messes us up here a little bit. Because it kills our bow too. But we still have a pretty big board. So it would, but then I would lose the wolf. But I guess I'd be left with the Tolsimir. So maybe I should have just Tolsimir there. Tolsimir gives me a life and it leaves me a 3/3 instead of a 1/3. I think that Oko is unplayable because he can't steal a gem. It's basically... the card is underpowered. Yep. There's Casualties of War I just talked about. So this gets everything but enchantment here. So they're going to kill this, 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 and this. Or a white source, probably. I assume.
Wallow in your deceit.
They took me off second blue. Maybe they think we have Frilled Mystic in our deck. I could see that. If I'd have gotten what's his name here, Tolsimir, I'd have hit them for 2 more points of damage at this point. I mean, like, what does finding that information out do for you? Like, why is it useful? What positive, yeah, what does knowing change in your life? Would be my question to you. If you type /user and then a username, you can see why they were banned. You can unban them. That's fine. Looks like I banned them because they were complaining about people getting timed out. Which is, if that's not Pico Glandy, I don't know what is. The good old irony ban. Yep, exactly. It's a meta ban, yeah, you know? Also, for people that weren't here today, someone that just asked about a lisp, I mentioned this a little bit earlier today. Yesterday after the stream, I started Invisalign treatment to correct my crooked teeth a little bit so my gums can be healthier. So I'm still learning to talk a little bit with pieces of plastic in my mouth at the moment. How do we ever beat 1/4, chat? I feel like we might be dead at this point. Feeling kind of dead. Yeah, I agree. It's very subtle. Yeah, my the person at the dentist's office recommended I take some Tylenol when I start a new trade. Yeah, just to give you insight for people who live in other countries, I have what's considered A+ top tier insurance in the United States, and to get my teeth corrected with Invisalign is costing me $3,500 out of pocket. Traditional braces are also expensive though. So, thank you Twitch chat for paying to fix my jacked up teeth. Nickel Bolas! Yikes. The for-profit insurance in the United States is greatly skewed towards reactive procedures as opposed to preventative procedures. All right, so Disdainful Stroke sounds great. Frilled Mystic sounds great. Tolsimir seems pretty medium. The health doesn't matter. The 2 bodies are kind of okay, but both bodies die to Clarion. Because they have Clarion, Deputy of Detention stock goes way down. I feel like Prison Realm's pretty medium in the face of them having access to 3-mana Teferi. Do I want 3-mana Teferi or Shifting Ceratops here. I could see those being okay. I'm trimming a lot of creatures here, so Once Upon a Time stock maybe goes down. Ceratops does kill through 1/4s. Yeah, let's try that. I don't think I want Teferi because they Teferi themselves, basically. So my good insurance has a cap of $1,500 per year that they'll cover for dental reasons. So I didn't get an exact quote on what braces were. I don't know if they were quite 5,000, but they would have still been more than that. Yeah, the point of the U.S. healthcare system is to generate profit. Treating ailments is secondary at best. Completely agree. This hand really needs a land, but I'm going to keep it because all of our spells are good. Since I'm paying for your teeth now, when do we get a teeth cam? Just for you, Gun3, just for you. Never say I've never done anything for you. It's a sneak peek at my private Snapchat, by the way, for those that are interested. For those of you that need a little something in your life. That was a good time to get on stream, yep. All right. One forest, please. One forest, please. That's exactly what we wanted, right? How about another 4-drop for our 4-drop soup chat? I'm making 4-drop soup. Who would like some? That's 2 days in a row. You've made the private Snapchat joke. I'm starting to think it's real. Oh no. Oh no. Du-du-du-du-du-dum. Oh, I seek the Teferi. Humph.
Only time will tell.
What is your quest? I seek the Teferi. Get it? Got it. Good. Okay. They've got the fire. Hey, hey. Do 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 do. Our insurance has lifetime limits. Also, if you get too sick and your treatment costs too much, the insurance doesn't have to pay for it. Yeah. So the points for watching Kid Martian aren't available to all streamers yet. As soon as they are available to me, I will be putting them on my channel for sure. Yeah, we're definitely just like holding up Frilled Mystic until we don't have them from here on out. If we get to untap with this, it's going to be huge. But I assume they have a 5-mana spell. They could have also disconnected again here. We won our first match of this set by our opponent just disconnecting. Hey, Beansy, thanks for doling out a sub gift. I appreciate that. Welcome. You probably wouldn't be dead in America, Nifty. You would just have crippling debt for the rest of yours and your parents' lives. You know, something that's okay for some reason. When was the last time we reset the clock? I reset in between every deck, so usually every 90 minutes or so. Well, they didn't play a second spell here, so I'm gonna guess they've disconnected. What a release ready product. What a release ready product. Do I have any deck sideboard guide articles coming out on Cool Stuffing soon? Yeah, I'm planning to write, once I find a Temur Oko list that I like, I'm planning to write something about that, I think. Well, we were having kind of an interesting game. And then we're down a game. We were maybe winning this one. Yeah. Woof. Reddit this morning had 5 or 6 threads about how broken and unbeatable Golos field is. I was reading it while you were 3-0ing Golos with the Temur deck. See, chat, and just like that, by simply getting 2 wins where your opponent randomly disconnects and can't play Magic anymore, you too can 5-1 a constructed event with anything you want. So I guess, like, we went 3-1 in matches actually played, and we were ahead in that last game, so, you know, I guess. All right. Thoughts on this. So this was for people not familiar with everything we do on this stream, in addition to playing specific deck lists that people submit, I also play build around submissions. So someone asked me, hey Jeff, can you build what you think could possibly be a reasonable Vivien's Arkbow deck? And this is what I put together. And I felt like, aside from the fact that we have a glut of 4s, this felt very reasonable. One thing that I hadn't really thought about until today is that stock in this card in the format, I feel like it's gone up, not only because this clears zombies against Field of the Dead, but Lightning Strike rotated and it didn't really get replaced, right? Like, people are playing Shock and Bone Crusher Giant as red removal spells right now, so this card feels a little bit harder to take off the table than than it previously was in other seasons. Questing Beast is great. Food Package is great. I think if you're looking to play Arkbow, this shell's probably pretty reasonable. I don't know that anything really jumped out at me as things that I would cut or change. The one match we lost was to the Flash deck, which I think is probably a hard matchup for this. So if you're playing this and you expect a lot of Flash, playing some more Teferis out of the sideboard is probably not completely unreasonable. So that's going to be it for this deck for today. We are going to be rolling on into another kind of sweet one, though. This is actually an updated iteration to a deck that we had played last week. So this is a blue-black control deck that's leaning into Drown on the Lock by milling our opponent a little bit with some of our cards. We're going to take a quick ad break before we dive into this. Thanks,